Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Welcome to Friday Night Lights. Get out the insurance card and get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. Willie Walls, Odell Blocker, the great Swame. Hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Some great family, food, and football. How was your Thanksgiving, Willie?
It was good. It was good. DFS wise, just spending time with the family, man. I had a great time. How about yourself?
It was pretty good. You see, Trevor won 16K.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't know that.
Trevor
Congratulations,
pulled up the
Trevor.
millionaire. He shared it with a bunch of other people, but he had we gave it out on the first look. He had the Dolphins stack, and our lineups were the same, except I had Hill and Wicks, and he had Reed and Moore, and that was the difference. And he made 16K. Swami, did you play it all?
Yeah, I played. Obviously, didn't do as well as he did. I was pretty good. I had Caleb Williams, his two receivers, Jacobs. I had Dottle. The only one I did not have was the Laporta. So if you guys had Laporta, that was the difference.
You said Reed Moore. What did Moore? What more? What
DJ
Moore?
Moore.
Oh yeah, I had Moore.
He had Jaden Reed and DJ Moore, and that was the difference in our lineups. He had two things, and he had the extra like 16 or 20 points, and boom, 16K.
No, congratulations, Trevor. That's a great job. That's a great job.
That's why we trust in Trevor. All right, let's get to this slate here, guys. Some good games, some surprisingly good games. Atlanta and the Chargers, 47.5. Vegas is calling this a pretty even game, Willie. There's a lot I like here. I mean, I can tell you Herbert. I can tell you Bijan. I could tell you Disley. I could tell you Drake London. Are you stacking this game? How are you playing it?
I'm playing some of it, but I have interest in that Houston Jaguars game, for certain people there. But it's definitely a game. But see, now I know Bijan is in play, but the Chargers' run defense ain't that bad, and even though Bijan's Bijan, he's still no Derrick Henry. He still don't knock it down the way he knocks you down. So, but I do like. I think Gus Edwards is a very interesting guy at a very interesting price. McConkey is showing up. It's showing up a lot, so I think McConkey's in play. I think it's and I like Herbert. And the thing that you like for San Diego for the Chargers is the fact that Atlanta doesn't pressure the quarterback. So unlike against against the Ravens when they were coming at us behind, especially because what I didn't like is things weren't as smooth when Dobbins went out the game. So that's what I noticed against the Ravens. But nobody has that blitz like the Ravens have. The Ravens will send that blitz and they'll force you to do something else. But this game is definitely playable, and I'm always a big Disley fan. Disley has been playing some good ball, so I think it's a very interesting going against Atlanta. And like I said, I think you could stack this game. It's not going to be the main game that I'm stacking, but there are plays, and I will have some plays out of this game.
Well, there's a lot to like here, a lot of meat on the bone in this game, but I want to ask a specific question before you give me the analysis. Gus Edwards is popping in every sim that I'm running, but he's not a guy, he doesn't catch a lot of passes. He seems to be very touchdown dependent. I feel like I don't want to play Gus Edwards. Are you playing Gus Edwards? Are you playing this game?
I don't know how much interest I am in Gus Edwards. I don't think he has that same big playability as Dobbins, even though he's good. He feels more like the 3 yard in the cloud of dust kind of guy. I know why Walls like him. It's the new segment, of course. Exactly. So for me, I think I'm going to just stick with, I think Justin is playing pretty well. I think he's going to continue to play well against Atlanta. I think between Ladd and Quentin and whoever's at tight end this week, they're going to have, probably a chance to get all of the points. If, the only thing you're kind of concerned with is if, let's say they get vultured in some kind of way, Gus is the person, running 2 in from the 1, right? And so that's the only thing there. And then the other side, which I think is a little interesting, Doc, is that I do think London or Mooney, they could be interesting coming back with Cousins. So there's a lot of different ways to play it. So I will have a piece of this game in probably every line.
All right, let me ask you this question. Gus Edwards is dirt cheap, right? 4,300. Let's say Swame's right and he goes, I don't know, 10 for 40 and a touchdown, right? So we're getting the 10 points. Is that a good 10 points because of the price? Or is it a bad 10 points because you're not getting the guy who's going to hit 25?
I don't like adjusting down just because we're getting a guy value. Like, I still need the same as I would need from a guy, for me, who was 6,000 or 6,500. I want the same 25, 26 points. I don't want this to tell myself, hey, a guy's 4,500, hey, you can win it with 10 points, because you're still going to be uphill and you're going to need more from the rest of your guys.
I liked Abdullah last week at 4,300 more than I like Gus Edwards this week, because Abdullah could catch passes. And that's right. And Gus Edwards, if he doesn't score, dude's getting me 4.3 points. Exactly. All right. Houston and Jacksonville. Willie, you mentioned it. So let's get to it. 44 points. But there is Brian Thomas, ETN. Evan Engram is back, especially with Trevor Lawrence. On the other side, you got Nico Collins. You got Joe Mixon. Willie, what do you like in this game?
I love, and I'm not normally on him, but Nico and Stroud, I like them both, and he kills the Jaguars. He had 26 points earlier this year. I mean, I love Nico and Stroud in this game. And normally, I'm not a Stroud guy, and I know what Nico could do, but Nixon is beginning all of the eating. But I think in this game here, you can run it back with Brian Thomas if Lawrence is back. That's if Lawrence is back, because we need a little.
Lawrence is back.
He is back. He's definitely going to be back. All right. Well, then hey, listen. I love Brian Thomas because Brian Thomas and Stroud's, their prices are lower than what it should be, in this game environment. Because Brian Thomas is a baller, and I think he's a very interesting guy in this game. I like them both, so I do like. But my favorite two people is Nico and Stroud. CJ.
Swame, Nico's in play for sure. CJ Stroud's a good play. We're forgetting Joe Mixon, who scores touchdowns galore. Do you like those guys that Willie liked? Who else do you like?
No, I'm going to go the opposite way from Willie, Doc. I'm sure that's not a surprise to you, but I think last game and I do like Nico's matchup. Again, Walls wasn't wrong at all, but I think this game, they didn't have Mixon that last game when Miko had the 12 for the 153. So I think this time they couldn't lean on Akers the way I think they're going to lean on Joe Mixon against that 31st ranked, that porous Jacksonville defense. And I think for that reason, this could be one of them games where Mr. Mixon gets 25 plus touches, and that he's the guy with somewhere between 20 and 30, or maybe even more fantasy points. I like Mixon a lot.
What about what King to Icon says about Engram getting a 26% target share with Trevor Lawrence? He could get 8 targets. Willie, do you like him?
I'm not playing Engram. Engram will have to beat me. I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm just not playing Engram.
Well, are you playing Engram?
I think Engram becomes a man of interest with Trevor Lawrence. I think I know it from a matchup perspective. I know what Walls is saying. But I think from a volume perspective, I think with Thomas, and if they got, the full complement with Lawrence and everybody back, I think now he's getting 8 targets, something like that. And if he can get 7 for 70, a touchdown, something, he becomes interesting in a tight end week that looks very interesting, to say the least. I
think it does too. All right, Tennessee against Willie's Commanders. Willie, the Commanders choked so badly last week. Really, I mean, just like took a big size 13 and stuck it in their throats, dude. Now you play Tennessee. I mean, Austin Eckler is out. Brian Robinson is playing. Jaden Daniels, McLaurin, Calvin Ridley's been good. Tony Pollard's been good. What pieces you like in this game, Willie?
I am, excuse me, Mr. Brian Robinson. Not only no, but hell no. I don't trust that. I don't trust that rascal. No, I cannot play a guy that's in the tub. Okay, I cannot play a guy that's in the tub. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I think, I think Pollock is in play. Going Pollock, playing against Commanders. The poor, run defense. I think he's in play. But I'm not getting too much people from this game, to be honest with you. I'm telling y'all right now, I don't like the way the Commanders are playing. And this game right here, I think this game could underwhelm. So in this game right here, I don't have too much in this game, to be honest with you.
Swami, Zach Ertz, do you like him? Do you like McLaurin? Do you like Jaden Daniels? What are you playing here?
Doc, I'm probably a little bit more interested in this game than Walls. I think Scary Terry could wind up being in a good spot in this one. I think he becomes a man of interest. I think I like Pollard. I could see myself playing Pollard coming back against Scary Terry. If I didn't have Pollard, maybe Ridley, but I'm definitely interested in some pieces from this game. And you could probably even talk me into, I wouldn't let you, one of these running backs. I think I'm gonna stay with what I was thinking was maybe some value on the Washington Commanders side because of the injury to Eckler, but I couldn't do it, Doc. I tried to get you there. I couldn't. I'm gonna stay away from that. I'm gonna just go here and Pollard. I tried, Doc. I couldn't though. I couldn't pull the trigger.
All right, Arizona against Minnesota. Arizona put up a stinky game last week, and Mike Johnson from 1 Week Season was talking on the radio show, and he's like, look, I think Arizona is going to play tight. It's a game they need to win, and they did. They played tight. Now they go to Minnesota. They're going to see blitzing. Can Kyler Murray, Willie, can he escape this blitz? I don't think this feels like a Connor week to me because Minnesota is going to be all over him. Feels like Marvin Harrison, not a great matchup. But the other side, Darnold, Addison, Jefferson, there's some guys in play here. Do you like this game?
Pass. I pass. Like I said, I will play George Jefferson, the former president of the United States, before I played Justin Jefferson. Listen, and I got him in season long. That's the only reason why he's in the game. But if you want to know how many DFS lineups I'm gonna have, Mr. George Jeff, I call him George because that's what he's playing like. He playing like George Jefferson on the Jeffersons. That's what I think. I think he took over his uniform. I don't know what's going on.
Well, maybe Jefferson's dry cleaning his uniform. I don't know.
His uniform looks clean to me at the end of the game because he ain't getting tackled too much because he ain't catching too many damn balls. Addison doing all the work. But I mean, I like Arizona's defense a little better. I think this game for me is not going to get it. And if Arizona couldn't do nothing against Seattle's defense, the hell they're going to do something against Minnesota's defense. So this game, and I'm a corner guy, but not today. Not today. I'm staying away from this game. Y'all can have this game.
Swami, this game feels like a fade to me. It's not that it's a bad game. I just feel like there's better pieces in other games. What are you thinking?
If I had to pick a game to watch on early slate, it might be this one. I think I probably want, if you got your boxes up and you got maybe red zone on one, I think this is one of those games I would want to watch. But from a fantasy perspective, Doc, not just no, but hell no. I think Wall said it best, even though I think he meant Mr. Thomas Jefferson, former president.
Not George Jefferson, the third president.
He's the guy that's married to
No. I was thinking George Jefferson of the show. I forgot what number he was.
You're thinking Lionel Jefferson.
Lionel or Louise or whoever, whatever.
Wheezy. You're thinking Wheezy.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think about King Icon? Connor is sneaky low owned. He's been catching 3 or 4 balls a week, Swami. I just don't see it for Connor.
Doc, I almost said sneaky no D's. Doc, no thank you. I don't want no part of that against that Vikings team. Again, I'm not mad at the thought. He's been known, Connor's been known, and that's why Walls and I like him. He's been known to be scrappy and deliver in good games, close games. He'll get involved. He'll break one out. I just don't like it. And after last week, I got a bad taste in my mouth.
But listen, knowing Connors, Swami, you knew he'll do this to us because we always on him. Because it wouldn't. I'm gonna tell you honestly, this wouldn't shock me if this game went 31-34 and nobody sees it. You know what I mean? Because everybody's gonna be off of it. But every once in a while, just like when that Minnesota-Chicago game, Minnesota, I don't know, man. Sometimes these guys are back and forth. So it's.
If I'm not mistaken, guys, isn't Sam Darnold relatively cheap on FanDuel? He's like 7,200. I mean, he's popping in a lot of sims that I'm looking at because of the price.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, he will. Mr. Donald will have to beat me. Connors will have to beat me. Everybody got to beat me in this game. I'm leaving him alone.
Not liking them, Doc. And both defenses have been surprisingly playing well from a fantasy perspective. I'm just leaning more that way. I'll have to witness this one from the sideline.
All right. Indianapolis goes to New England. They better win, because if they don't win, they're out. Anthony Richardson feels like a good start, right? I mean, he should be able to do something against this Patriots defense, Swami. But feeling Richardson and playing Richardson, two different things, because when this guy stinks, it's like going in that toilet after, somebody drops a bomb in some airport and you're like, whoa. And then you're like, the guy ruined my whole lineup.
Well, that's two pauses in a whoop. But I'll tell you what, Doc. Just like we kind of described Connor, is when I think I'm done with Richardson. The Phoenix rises from the ashes. And this feels like a sneaky game. And a couple of sneaky plays would be Richardson. Maybe even Stevenson might be a sneaky play here at his price on DraftKings at 5,900. Last week he was awful. I think he had less than 6 touches. And so this week they might try to get him going as well. This could be a sneaky game. I do have some interest in it.
Willie, what about you? Do you have any sneaky interest in this one?
First of all, listen, I cannot listen. Please, everybody, excuse what that rascal just said about Mr. Stevenson, sir. That bastard will not be in one lineup. You got too many other people like a Tampa Bay running back at the same price point that I will play 10 times out of 10 times in this matchup that he has against the Carolina Panthers. So Mr. Stevenson will not be in one lineup. I guarantee that. But Richardson is interested, and two people that stands out because Downs is out is Pittman, and possibly if you wanted to go down that Mitchell guy for the Colts. So those are interesting plays, especially Pittman without Downs in the lineup. So I'm not mad at that two combinations right there.
All right, let's take a look at Pittsburgh against Cincinnati. Guys, I'm telling you what I'm seeing right now is that Chase Brown will be close to 40%. 40%, Willie. Now, I know it's because the price is right, but I feel like if I fade him, I'm going to be ahead of 40% of my competition. Not that I want to fade him because I like the player, and I'm playing him in seasonal everywhere, but DFS, it doesn't feel like a smart play.
I'm gonna disagree on you. First of all, when he got yards against the Ravens, that he earned my respect. Yeah, and let me tell you something. Pittsburgh, I know Pittsburgh, rough and tough. They blow the house down, but I'm telling you something. That run defense has been suspect. They have been very suspect. So I'm going to have me a lot of Chase Brown. I will have a lot of Chase. I've been playing him. I've been playing him every week. He's been on the slate, to be honest with you. He's been one of my favorite guys because I like a guy that gets 20, 25, 20, 26 touches in this game. And you can run the ball on the Steelers. I know the Steelers defense has been described. I know that. But, man, they have not been that sound against the run. So I'm going to have interest in Mr. Brown.
Swami, Permar makes a good comment here. He thinks Chase is not going to be shadowed by Porter. Thinks Porter's going to be covering T. Higgins. He's got a great matchup single high. People are going to be playing Chase Brown. They're not going to be playing Jamar Chase. Who do you like in this game? I think Pickens is in a good spot. Najee Harris is in a good spot. Do you agree with me about fading Chase Brown? Not because he's not good, but because 40% of people like my friend Willie Walls are going to be clicking the button.
Doc, I must say respectfully, I do not. I think I'm leaning more towards Willie this time. And the reason why is twofold. So one, I know you said that you like him and you don't want to fade him, but I always say that ownership is a strategy, is not a rule. And the difference is A rule, I think, has more correlation, and I think ownership has more speculation. It is us trying to guess and figure out and using models to say who's going to do what. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't find some other kind of way to create leverage in your lineup without having to fade guys who are in great spots with great prices. I think sometimes it disadvantages us getting away from great plays in great spots, and then trying to figure out everything else after that. So specifically in this one, the reason why I'm probably not as on somebody like Chase is because it's one of those AFC North games. It's one of those division games. The last time they played, both teams were under 26 points total. I think 16-10. I think the time between that, they was 20-23. This feels at best like a 20-23 kind of AFC North game. It'll be a scrap. Expect to see the kickers. Expect to maybe see a big play or two, but I don't think we'll get that kind of game you saw that happened between the Bengals and the Ravens in this one. With that being said, I like Chase. I like both Chase, Brown and Jamar. I think Higgins is a man of interest. I think Wilkins and Pickens are in play as well. And I wouldn't even be mad if folks said they were interested in tight ends here. So it's something here. I wouldn't stack it, but Doc, I definitely wouldn't fade him just for ownership reasons.
I think look, this game is a 47.5. And Swami, I think this could be the sneaky game because most people are going to think exactly what you said. AFC North, low scoring. The last couple of times these guys have played, it's been a low scoring game. This game could explode a little bit, and then this could be the game that you had to have or you lose.
It could, Doc. It could because you got, I think, two quarterbacks that could, push up there. I know earlier you said Wilson feels like he might, have one of those games where he's like, I think you said on first look, like he's 17 for 20 with 2 touchdowns, but is that enough? But if it is a more of an up-paced game with bigger plays, then I think Wilson could help. He could keep up with the Bengals in this game. I just don't think I got it going under based on this AFC North matchup.
All right, guys, Seattle and the Jets. It's a 42 spot. There was some hesitation about Breece Hall earlier, Willie. Looks like he's playing. You got Metcalf, Garrett Wilson. This feels like a fade of a fade of a fade. And if any of these guys beat me, then I lose. Sorry, I'll come back next week.
I picked up the Jets defense. That's all I got for you in this game. And for season long. That's all I got for you in this game. Pass.
Swami, same feeling for you, or are you more into it?
I won't say I'm more into it. I think I don't know why I feel like maybe Garrett Wilson and
he's going to be low owned.
Yeah, maybe, and I'm just giving some maybes, and maybe JSN, a men of interest. I would be more interested in JSN or Garrett Wilson. Even Metcalf still I think enough of interest. And I think for some reason both backs feel sneaky. I know, is Allen starting?
No, it looks like Hall is going to start. I would absolutely start Braylon Allen. If they call Breece Hall out, Allen is in.
Okay, I agree. And then so it's some sneaky interest here. I don't love it though, but I'm more interested than Walls is, and I definitely wouldn't be playing no defense in this game.
By the way,
listen, let me say this: Seattle changed their strategy. They got a couple of guys back, and they changed their strategy. So their run defense, I don't think, and it showed in that Arizona game. So that's why I should have been less interested in them. They changed their strategy the way they play things, and I think that's why I'm not really going to be interested in running backs going to Seattle's. They're not as leaky as they used to be towards the run. So, and it showed last week against Arizona.
All right, let's take.
Can I say this, Doc? I think you at least got one hardball, somebody who's a former Bears coach, somebody who should be a former Raiders coach, and this Jonathan Gannon guy. I'm just naming coaches who seem to be making some very interesting decisions as far as game planning, game management, etc. I think what happened last week with the Cardinals was more about the Cardinals and the way they prepared for that week than it was Seattle. and I still think Seattle hasn't made that type of improvement. I couldn't give them that much credit. I'm going to say that I think the Jets are still a little bit more interesting on offense than Seattle is on the defense.
That's a good call there. I mean, Arizona did not show up. They did not show up. All right. Here's a game that I kind of really like, guys. I'm not going to kid you around. I mean, the Rams against the Saints.
Yes.
I could just, you know, when Alicia won her million, and you know when Trevor won his money, and people just like stack the crap out of a game. This feels like a game I may just stack the crap out of, Willie. I may just go Stafford, both receivers, MVS, Taysom Hill. I'm just going to kitchen sink this game.
Listen, Puka lock button. I mean, Tyrese, really, you know, the running back, and I don't play him. I don't play the running back for the Rams, but he's in play in this game going against New Orleans. I just think this game, and I know it's hard to say because of what he did, you know, for Taysom Hill. I know people want to fade him, but I mean, listen, this game is interesting, and I'm going to have at least 2 to 3 pieces of this game in every lineup that I have. So I like the guys in this game. Puka lock button. I'm not even thinking about that. I mean, Taysom Hill, even though he's $5,000, he's still in play because the way they're using this dude, man. No. Anytime that they use them, you know, like for 11 snaps there, 12 snaps there. I mean, he is the mainstay on this team. And at $5,000, if you really think about it, for what he can produce, and especially at the goal line,
it's Kamara leverage,
right? I'm interested in Taysom. I'm just saying this game. I'm going to have a lot of this game. I can tell you that right now.
Swame, are you with me and Willie in this one? Because I'm telling you, I'm throwing it all in there, baby. This is Prego spaghetti sauce. It's in there.
First of all, shout out to Alicia Hunt. You know, Alicia, we're big fans of yours here on Friday Night Lights. Anytime you want to come in, you got to open the invitation, of course. But I think, like you said, the way that Alicia played it, you can play it here. This game feels like one of those games you almost can't go wrong. The only piece that I'm not a big fan of, the only piece, and this is personal, and I know you said on First Look, Doc, you talked about, hey, it can't be, but when you admit your bias, I think it's okay. I think to have bias and not admit it, when you and Trevor were talking, I think that's when it's not good. I'm admitting my bias here. Taysom Hill can kiss my grits. When I play him, it's 5 points, it's 6 points. When I don't, and I got Kamara, it's 38. If I see Taysom Hill, it's going to be a misunderstanding. I'm going to try to trip him if I see him in the airport because I really don't want no trouble, Doc. He's a professional athlete.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, I don't want no problem, Taysom.
Yeah, you be by yourself.
Yeah, don't text me. I don't want any problem because he texted me last week. But anyway, to rub my nose in it. Doc, I don't want any smoke here for Taysom Hill. I think he had a great game. I think this is one of the ones where I think a lot of people are going to start to slide his way. I want to look at somebody else. I'm going to tell you who I'm interested in this game that Walls doesn't like. And this is an early Swame, he says. His name is Valdez Scantling. He's got another great match.
100%.
He's in a great spot.
I didn't
He's
say
my
like
guy. No, the last couple of weeks you didn't like him.
I didn't. But listen, hey, listen. Sometimes, when you see it and you see the guy throws to him, even though it's not a lot of targets, I mean, he's in play. I'm not saying I don't like him in this game.
And I know you said lock in Puka. I don't disagree. But watch out for Kyron Williams. I think he's sneaky in this one.
I told you, Kyron Williams. I like both.
And I think Mr. Cup, while everybody's looking at everybody else, he's taking note too. He's a huge fan of the show. He said, Willie, I heard what you said. So you watch out for Mr.
Listen, I got a bias.
New Orleans against slot receivers stinks, Willie. They're terrible against slot receivers. I know Puka's a lock button, but you can't play all 3 Rams. If you do, which I'm not against, I don't know if I could play Stafford then. But I don't want to miss Stafford because Stafford could throw 340 and 3 touchdowns this game.
Well, yeah. Like we were just talking about. Maybe it's not fading Brown. Maybe it's playing 4 Rams. Because that sometimes are those type of plays. I know I said you can't do it, and we saw what happened in Miami. You could have played Jonnu Smith. You could have played Waddle. You could have played Chain. And you could have played Tua.
Look, I could play them all with MVS and Taysom Hill.
At least one lineup.
And listen, I'm gonna have one. What I got, I'm just throwing them all in, and then throwing the 2 running backs for Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's a good lineup.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I love this is my favorite game of the slate, and I like the next game too. Don't get it twisted. I'm a fan of the next game too.
So let's talk about that next game, Willie. Tampa Bay against Carolina. There's so much I like in this game. I can't even begin to start. I think Baker's in play. I think Bryce Young may even be in play, just a little bit. He looked very good last week. I think you're talking about Bucky Irving, who is a must start.
Yes.
Rashad White, who looked fantastic.
Yes.
Mike Evans wants to get his 1,000 yards.
Yes.
If he does, he's got to start this week, and he could put up the you had to have it game.
Yes.
8 for 160 and 2 touchdowns. You don't have Mike Evans, you lose, right? And then Kate Otten. I mean, this is another game. I play 3 lineups. I will definitely have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as one of my 3 for sure. Really agree. And then by the way, Adam Thielen's in play, David Moore's in play, Chuba's in play. Willie, I like this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing more of David Moore since they short on the receivers. I'm gonna go with the one for luck because I'm gonna need it because I'm gonna have Puka in Cup and the lineup, so I'm gonna need that discount. So Mr. David Moore is the one that's going to get played in this one right here. So I do like David Moore. I mean Hubbard. Listen, Hubbard is still balling. It's still amount of interest. I don't have as much interest because I love the 2 Tampa Bay running backs in this game. I mean, you could, and very rarely would I play 2 running backs in the game, but this is a game for their price points that you could play 2. Remember we used to play the San Francisco, the San Francisco back, and he was almost $10,000 in here. And I think these guys together could get you over 30-something points. I mean, together they would get you over 30-something points in this game. This is another fantasy game, and I do like Evans too because I think Evans needs a big game, and I think he's going to be unleashed in this game going against Carolina.
Swame, do you agree with us? Is this a game that you love?
Doc, not just no, but hell no. Let me tell you. I'm telling you, it's something about these divisional games that I keep speaking about. One, Carolina Panthers are playing a little bit inspired football on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And I don't know if they just going to come out and let Tampa run all over them. And as much as I like Bucky, and it's more so for the amount of targets that I'm seeing them getting out of back over the last 5, I don't like the fact that they got all of these guys around 10 and 12 carries. They got to try to do the most with the 10 and 12 carries. And if it's a situation where you guys also like to throw the ball, something about this one I don't like, it doesn't feel great. And if it was some interest, which I didn't talk about the other side, it's not just doing more, and I would have more interest in Chuba. I think that he would be more of an interest to me than anybody else in here. I don't like the split from the backs, even though Bucky Irvin, I'll admit, is a great play. And even though Evans is Evans, I don't like his matchup. I like Baker, but this one feels sneaky, and I'm going to let you guys have it.
Wow. All right. Swami, let's go to you here. Your Baltimore Ravens play the Philadelphia Eagles. Is this the game? I mean, this is going to be the game that everybody's watching. This feels like, you have Henry and Saquon and Lamar and Hurts and A.J. Brown and Zay Flowers. This is a potential Super Bowl matchup. Is it a stinker this week, or is it fantasy gold?
Doc, just got to be honest here about my team. They have proven to not show up to these games, definitely not early. We got to find a way to get down 2 scores early and then find a way to try to make some type of a push late. We're going to find a way to not give Henry the ball. They're going to find a way to give Saquon the ball. They're going to find a way to get it to A.J. Brown. Again, it could be a ton of points. I don't know if Philly's going to be able to run on us like that. I think I'm more afraid of Brown than I am the tush push or Saquon at this point. So I'm going to say Brown, and then coming back, I would just have to say Lamar if you're going to take a piece from it, Doc. is my team, so I obviously got to point out my bias, which I usually recuse myself because other than the baby that made a slapped Harbaugh in the behind when he was born, there's nobody else that oh my gosh, that want to put.
Swami, what about Goddard against the Ravens secondary, assuming Devonta Smith is not playing?
I know that bump that Walls talked about. I just don't like his targets over the last couple of games. I don't like how they don't really have him involved. The game last week was 37-20, and he had 4 for 19. And I can't get behind 4 for 19. 2 games before that, he only had 2 catches for 25. And I get Washington was the best game he had of late, and that was a whopping 8 points. So, no, I'm not really feeling Goddard. I'll let Walls have Goddard.
Nah, I mean, what I like in this game mostly is AJ Brown, and the reason I like AJ Brown a lot, and I think he's not going to be as high on as people think he is, because number one, that's the way you got to beat the Ravens. Number one, number two is most of their passing game, and there's more than anybody in the NFL, is 44% play action, and Mr. Barkley will make you hit yourself if you play action to him. He's going to make you freeze. So that's why I'm a big believer in AJ Brown in this game. AJ Brown, I think, is a great play, and I'm gonna have some AJ Brown in this game. But I mean, I'm going to be underweight. I'm not playing Barkley, not against because I respect the Ravens. I respect the Ravens defense. So I'm not going to play Barkley, and I'm not going to play him because Philly's defense has improved. It has improved, man. So I'm not getting there with that. I mean, Lamar, the only ones that I would like to stack in this game, and I think that's an interesting stack, is Lamar on one side, and then you run that back with AJ Brown.
I like that, or Lamar and Goddard. I just think Baltimore has not been good against tight ends. And if Devonta Smith is out, I'm willing to look at Goddard because I think other people won't. But it feels like people are going to want to play this game, but I don't want to play this game. And I don't even know if I may want a piece, but I think the pieces are so expensive that it feels like it doesn't fit.
But I want you to remember the narrative, right? You told me we got to look inside the numbers. Disley 6 points, Fry moved 2 points, Gesicki 5 points. We won't count Troutman because he's terrible. The last person that even hit double digits was Njoku. If they're so bad, Doc, somebody's got to do it. And
look, I'm not looking to play Goddard. I'm saying if I'm playing this game, he might be a part of it, but there's just too many other tight ends. Taysom Hill, Kate Otten, Trey McBride, TJ Hawkinson. There's just too many other guys than it's worth it here.
It's a GPP play. I'll give you that. It's a shot where that could come out of nowhere. We know he's a guy who can go for 25. And with the tension maybe going to Brown, Smith being out, and then he's the guy who's able to work over that middle. So right. I see it. It's
possible.
I don't like it.
All right, the Sunday night hammer, guys. It's going to be snowy. It's going to be ugly. Do we play anything in this game? I'm fading it completely. Willie, are you playing it or fading it?
The only one I see that it's possible playing is Secure. Playing him, in this game. But listen, and normally I'm that Sunday night, and just like last week was some, nice fantasy goodness. Last week, not this week.
Swami, are you playing this game or are you fading?
I don't know if I would fade it. Obviously, it's that late night game. If I had to pick something from it, it's probably not Secure. It's probably more Cook for me. For some reason, I feel like he would be a little bit more of a man of interest than anybody else. And we know what Allen can do. I just don't know if I'm as interested. If you made me take a piece, Doc.
Kittle?
Kittle's no, not against Buffalo.
In the snow and the bad weather, it just feels like, do I need it?
Give me Cook, and I'm gonna stay away from the Allen-led 49ers.
All right.
The other.
All right, Willie Walls. I'm going to hand you $100. I'm going to tell you to take a single entry, and I'm going to tell you give me your stack.
I'll tell you what. Yeah. Let me give you two. The one that I mentioned to you before that I like Nico. I like Collins. Bring it back with Brian Thomas. Okay, I like that.
With Stroud.
Huh?
This is a stack question. Are you going to do Stroud?
Yeah, no. My next one is going to be is what we talked about, the Rams. The Rams. I mean, you could run any iteration of the Rams, but I might do what Swame talked about because I noticed that stuff has been winning. I think, man, put them all in there, man. Put Kyron in there. Put Stafford in there. You run it with Puka and
Doc,
Cup.
help you out. Walls, Doc asked for a stack. Give the damn stacks.
I gave
please.
a stack. I got no. I mean, one I like again. Give me Kyron, give me Puka, and give me Stafford.
Okay,
there you go. Wasn't that hard stuff, Swami? Wasn't that hard?
What's that? You coming back with anybody?
Yeah, you could come. You come up with the guy you don't like, Taysom Hill or MVS.
Taysom
or both. All right, Swami, what are you doing?
Well, first, Doc, I'm gonna have to tell the people out there that Taysom Hill, we would need rushing yards from him. I don't know if that correlates. He would have to be heavily involved in the passing game, which right now he's not. But anyway,
he's part of all that.
He is.
Sorry.
Tell him he could part of all of that. Anyway, Doc, since Willie, I think intentionally took my backs, I'll give you another one that you mentioned. And one that I don't know if you said Hito right. Not sure who you said mentioned. I apologize if I got it wrong. But I think let's say if Barrow, Chase, and Brown and came back with Pickens, I think that could be a viable stack.
Wow, that's interesting.
Right. The only thing I don't like about it is a little bit expensive. I think Barrow's over 7. I think Chase and Pickens are probably obviously Chase costs, he's up there, and then Pickens. But again, I think it is some leverage to be had there. It is kind of low owned, and you can do some other things with the rest of the lineup to make it work. You'll likely need Gus Edwards in that lineup.
You could make that work. I could see that working. You would. You need a Gus Edwards type of guy to make that work, but that's interesting. I'm going to give you the super low look. I'm going to give you 3 options. 1, Stafford and go with the Rams. Love it. 2, same game. Maybe I pivot to Derek Carr and get the same love. And 3, Anthony Richardson, and as Willie called him, that Mitchell guy. If I take those 2 guys, I probably can afford a ton in my lineup and just use those and fill it up.
Well, let me do my second one then, Doc, because I think I got a good second one. I think it's some combination of using Herbert or Cousins with some combination of Ladd McConkey and Mooney or Drake London. Is some combination of that. So I'm gonna take the other side of it. Give me because Quentin was so bad last week. Give me Quentin, Ladd, Herbert. Let's bring it back with Mooney.
I like playing Quentin this week. Nobody's going to play Quentin.
Yeah,
Nobody.
Hey, but Doc, for the first week, I mean, I really think this slate, you play what you want to play, who you feel you can play. This slate can go anyway. It's like before we were like a little slim picking on stacks. This is to me, that Pittsburgh game could be a sneaky stack. You got some sneaky stuff that's out here. And I really think that, if you really feel that something that you feel to play that play. Because I'm telling you, that might be the one to take. Because I think you could go, it's 7 or 8, it could be 7 or 8 stacks on this slate that makes sense.
I mean, Swami brings out a great point. Nobody's talking Falcons. Everybody's talking Chargers. Why are we not talking Bijan, Mooney, and Cousins? Why not? In a dome?
At home.
We don't like West Coast teams traveling to the East Coast to an early game. Now, I know Jim Harbaugh is a good coach and all, but I don't know. I think there's something to these stacks, and I think that that Steeler game, nobody's going to stack that game, and they should because they're at 47. If that game was an AFC North game, wouldn't it be like 43?
I wouldn't even be mad if it was something like that or under. I could see a 41.5 on that.
Right. And you're saying 47.5. So
yeah.
I don't know. All right, guys, give me the balls to the walls call from Willie Walls.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I got two of them. One is it's a cheap bastard because we got the cheap bastard statement is David Moore. That's a cheap bastard. Okay. Now The balls to the walls call who I like a lot is because Trevor Lawrence is back. I like Brian Thomas.
Good one. Swami, who's your cheap bastard play?
Walls. Clearly. This is outrageous. Brian Thomas is a balls to the walls call with Trevor Lawrence back in the dream matchup. I mean, at this point, let's just tell these folks out there in DFS land, hey, make sure you put Saquon Barkley in your lineup against the 32nd ranked defense. Make sure you play King here. Are you kidding me? Come on, man.
Hey, I'm not playing either one of those guys.
Have a pair.
Listen. I said David Moore. That's balls to the walls. David Moore. Because Thielen is back. But I like Moore. I like Moore than this talk. I like David Moore.
Cheap bastard. He's not balls.
Listen, I don't listen. What do you want, sir? Brian Thomas has not been doing nothing lately. I'm saying I like Brian Thomas. And listen, actually, Houston's defense is not a bad play in this scenario.
Swami, who's your cheap bastard play?
Sure. Well, I mentioned MVS, but because he's my Swami, says I cannot also have him as probably the cheap bastard play. So I think I want to move away from him. And I think if we're saying cheap bastard, something about Schultz is interesting to me. Good. And I know he's a tight end, so I'm more defensive. That's really a cheap.
No, but that's a good cheap bastard. He's 3,300. I saw his price.
And who's your Swami says pick?
It's still Valdez Scantling this week. He is a
whatever you say, you talking about me.
He
that
is
man only in this last 2 games. 20. I mean, come on. Shut your mouth. And you gonna give me trouble about Brian Thomas. You are a two-faced rascal.
I got one. You ready? Swami says Puka Nakor, Doc.
Good one, Swami. Now, I am going to give you the play that nobody's playing except me. And by the way, King to Icon says it exactly as I'm going to say it. The cheap bastard play of the week, Kamani Vidal.
He's a man of interest.
I'm not touching Gus the Bus if you can pay me money. Not touching it. I like Kamani Vidal. This dude can play. He can catch. He can run. He is better than Gus Edwards, and he's cheap. And if I want to get all my other guys in, I'm going to need a cheap play. He is my cheap play. All right, Sammy mentions that he likes Nelson Aguilar. He says, book it. By the way, in a revenge narrative game, Nelson Aguilar did play with the Ravens and did play with the Eagles. I like it. But I am doing and Permar basically defends Swami there because only 3% ownership, Willie. MVS is not a
man, Myers. Listen, MVS has dominated the last 2 games. That's not man. I tell you what. You can defend these too. Hell, not only no, but hell no. MVS, and I like him too, and I don't normally like that guy. But this game has fantasy goodness written all on it. So
I'm going to go a different way from Walls. I'm fading David Moore. So I couldn't fade David Moore more than I'm fading him this week. Okay? If he's here, I'm there. Like I'm so far away from this guy, I wouldn't be radioactive. I'm putting Adam Thielen, baby. Adam Thielen's going to be catching balls.
That's why I like. Hey, and you said the same thing with John New Smith, and he's still telling you, Doc, kiss him. That's what John New Smith is saying, sir. So say what you want to say.
Except John New Smith has at least the last couple of weeks been the number 1 option on a team where he starts. David Moore's like the 4th.
No, it's not. No, David Moore. They got receivers out. He plays. He plays a lot.
David Moore is.
I'm telling you. He's still gonna get his.
Imagine my hands grabbing these cheeks. That's what I'm talking.
Hey, hold on, Doc. Hey, Doc, is Xavier legged out? Is he out?
No, that's a sneaky play. That's sneaky.
What the heck is Walls talking about, Doc?
David Moore. Coker is out. So David Moore's getting a lot of time.
Yeah, he's going to get Coker's touches. Yeah, he's going to get
listen. And I'm going to tell you, and I do like the way, really, I think the Carolina quarterback, people, gave him a bunch of crap. He's been balling. He's been playing some good ball.
Somebody said David Moore is getting directions to the stadium. Oh my God! Exactly, Sammy. You're spot on, buddy. David.
All right. We are out of here. We had a lot of fun. We wish you much luck. For Willie Walls, the great Swame, I'm Dr. Roto. We tell you to be well and
take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care. Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.